Hi guys, I am just gonna do a quick little intro. This garden season has been really rough. Summer was hot. We had a drought. We had weeks and weeks on end that were over 100 degrees. I dealt with the mulch issue, getting sick. There were several other things. I was in and out of town. I was juggling several jobs at the same time, and I didn't have as much time as I would have liked to spend in the garden. Not that there was a whole lot to do, because it was just so hot that nothing was really thriving. Besides the herbs. The herbs did great. The fruit did not. No fruit and vegetables did well this summer. I filmed a little garden tour. Technically, it was kind of the beginning of October, but I'm gonna call it the end of September. And I am in the process of turning my beds over. So I am turning them over from summer beds to fall beds. So I'm ripping things out, I'm amending, I'm mulching, I'm working on the irrigation. I think I'm having irrigation issues in a few of them. And I am replanting for fall with the hopes of getting a fall crop. And we'll see what happens. I don't have a whole lot of hope. Honestly, it's been very disheartening. I am just chugging along, doing the best that I can, and trying to learn from my mistake. Luckily, I follow a lot of really amazing vloggers on YouTube that are inspiring me, even though they're in different areas. It's helpful to know that I am not the only one struggling with all of these issues. Anyways, that was a long rant. That was a much longer intro than I anticipated. So without further ado, here's my little end of September garden tour. Hopefully fall will be better for us. We'll see. So here are some seedlings I have going. A lot of flowers. I've got bachelor buttons, calendula, other things. Here is my huge grapevine. All the pretty mulch that I put down. Got some zinnias popping up. I just threw them in there, I think. This is supposed to be my flower bed, although not many flowers are blooming right now. This is a butterfly weed, but it has an aphid problem. And then this is an amaranth. It is going to seed, so hopefully it'll come back. It was a volunteer actually this year. And a rose against the wall that is climbing up there. Along the bottom there's a ton of lavender. This is all lavender. There's some bee balm in the back. This is a vetiver that I've already cut down once. I'm probably gonna have to remove it in the winter. And then some volunteer tulsi. I think that's a butterfly weed right there as well. And I've got some chives going to seed. I believe these are garlic chives, but they're so pretty. A little mini rose blooming in the back. I always forget about that little guy among a bunch of weeds. And then this is oregano. My huge elderberry. She really blossomed this year. I've got some green onions still going, although a lot of them got destroyed by aphids this summer. I think this is some more oregano. And then a comfrey. This is the only comfrey I have left. The others kind of died. This is either ginger or turmeric. I can't remember which one I planted there. And then my blackberry against the fence. I should probably put up these little guys that are sticking out. I've got some chard growing back there. This is mostly a huge pile of lemon balm, although that is parsley that has gone to seed. My mound of lemon balm. This is peppermint, which is kind of gone wild. There's some sage back there. There's a few basils going to seed. I don't remember what kind. I think those are lettuce leaf. The salad burnet that I never eat, but I just think is pretty. My little nettle patch. I probably need to harvest this one soon before it gets too cold. This is some more volunteer tulsi, holy basil, and then a elderberry, mini little elderberry. This I call my potato bed, but there's a lot more in there. I've got some arugula popping up. beans up on the bamboo trellis that is leaned up against the compost bin. I've actually got beans, so that's exciting. They're not getting completely destroyed by aphids and ants. So I'm keeping a close eye on those. This is a patch of Thai basil. I made that in a recipe recently and it was delicious. Some more lemon balm and my pineapple mint, which I love just for the variegation alone. There's some sage growing in there as well. More sage. And this is a curry plant. I've never actually done anything with it yet. I want to, but it's just so pretty. Some more volunteer holy basil, and then this plant is actually a volunteer shiso plant from last year. I never did anything with it, so I didn't plant it again, but it just popped up. And then these are more basils and a thyme. And then tucked behind the thyme here, I have a little shishito pepper plant. I don't know if it's gonna do well or not, but I keep trying with it. These are a couple little feverfew plants. I'm growing these for medicinal purposes. Over here is my tomato patch, although I've ripped out all of the tomatoes, and now there's a ton of basil, peppermint, and I put in a few pepper plants just to see what would happen. This one's an early jalapeno. I don't even remember what the other pepper plants were. They kind of get lost in there. There's a bunch of volunteer holy basil. I've got some asparagus growing in the middle. I keep trying to clip it up onto these bamboo sticks that I have in a little teepee because they always flop over, but I cannot harvest it this year, but hopefully next year or the year after I'll be able to harvest some asparagus. A ton of holy basil, and then over here I have, oh, that's a little oak tree growing. I get those everywhere. And then over here I have my mandarina lemon balm. That thing is so hardy. I have issues with mealybugs. They're just everywhere. It's getting better, but they're quite annoying. Here's another pepper plant. I'm not sure what it is. I don't think it's labeled. And then most of the ground cover is peppermint. In this little bed we have cauliflower. I actually need to pick those small ones. I think those are done, and some of them are kind of getting a little funky looking. There's ginger, there's a lemon verbena, and then I planted some other tiny little cauliflowers that will hopefully give me some larger cauliflowers. And then this is a pink lemonade blueberry, but it has never done super well. This is my grapevine. There's also, if you see those huge leaves growing in the middle, I think there's a volunteer loofah, and I'm just kind of leaving it. I kind of want to see if I can eat the loofah because it's the only gourd type thing that is growing for me this year. And then this is my pepper bed. As you can see, the kale right there is looking skeletal. It got completely destroyed by caterpillars, I assume. And then I have a bunch of pepper plants that are actually starting to produce. This one is a purple bell pepper, I believe. I think those are some jalapenos. I have these, I think they're called Mad Hatter peppers, which are super interestingly shaped. They're kind of annoying to cut up and put into dishes, but that's a bunch of either lemon basil, a cayenne. I'm actually getting a lot of cayennes out of that one, but there's a ton of lemon, lime basil in between. These are kohlrabi, although those also got destroyed by caterpillars. I have a little yarrow. And then the rest of this bed is filled with a variety of peppers. That one is a sweet banana pepper. I don't even know what that is. It might be a jalapeno. Let's see. jalapeno, yeah. This is a gypsy bell pepper. Gypsy something. Yeah, gypsy pepper. And then this one in the back is so cool. I just love the variegation on it. It doesn't produce a whole lot, but look how cool this pepper is. Very neat. Although I know variegated plants tend to grow really slow compared to regular ones. And then another little rosemary patch. I have those everywhere. Over here is my main tomato patch. I don't know, okay, this I think is some kind of sage. And then I have some tomatoes popping up. I'm not sure how well they'll do. This looks like ginger, and I'm not sure if I planted that there or not. I don't know. This is probably the only tomato growing in my garden right now. We'll see if it ripens. There are a few other larger tomatoes, but most of them are just ones that I planted at the end of summer. I really need to go in there and prune and stake them up really well. This is a borage. It's actually doing pretty well. I've got some mugwort. And just a bunch more tomatoes. Hopefully I'll get some before the frost comes, but we've got quite a bit of time for us, at least in Texas. There's some mealy bugs on these, but I keep trying to spray them off, and I'm finding that that's helping. Okay, I think it's pineapple sage is what that is, because there was one there last year. And then this bed has a variety of things. So there's strawberries planted along this edge. There's a bunch of basil. This is the basil that I collected seeds from last year. It's like purple spotted green basil. There's, yeah, see, it's so pretty. I didn't know if it would show when it was grown, but there's some tomatoes that I grew from seed during the summer. There's some horehounds that I'm growing for medicinal uses. There's some regular basil over there, another tomato. That one I grew from seed. There's some beans growing along this trellis, and then I think that's a cucumber. I think that's also a cucumber. Over here is a bed I planted in the spring. It's kind of still wild. There's some beans along the trellis. There's carrots along the edge of the wood. I try to pull one out here, but it does not end up very fruitful. I did not thin these, so I don't know how well they will turn out. I kind of ripped the top off of it. I think the ground is really hard here, so probably not the best choice for carrots. It looked like it could have been a decent carrot. Guess we'll never know. Oh, so puny. There's a bunch of tomatoes in here that I just let go through the summer. They're pretty scraggly looking. I don't know if they'll even produce much at all, if anything. And then there's some beets along the edge there, although the mulch pile is kind of creeping in. Around this side, there's more carrots. Underneath that, there is some orange mint, which is actually one of my favorite mints. There's another shiso that volunteered from last year. Over here are some sweet potatoes, my humongous elephant ear that I love so much. This Sweet Jane magnolia that I moved from the front, I don't know if it's doing well or not. Maybe though, it looks like it has some little buds on it. There's an elderberry, camellia. Oh, blueberry, I always forget about that one. Yeah, I don't think blueberries do well here. That is a jasmine and that is a fig. I have yet to get any figs off of this, but hopefully that'll happen in the spring maybe. That's a watermelon and it's struggled. This is, I don't even remember, but it never really did well. I don't know what that is. Aphids? Are there aphids? I don't know what the heck happened to that one, but it is a good honor, I think. This bed I've been kind of ripping out. There's some echinacea in there. These are basils. There's some potatoes popping up back there. I think I'm just gonna let them go. This bed, that was some cauliflower that I planted, but it's kind of getting eaten up. There's chard, there's my bay tree in the back. This chard isn't getting very big, I don't know why. I have a few eggplants, but they're kind of getting eaten by mealybugs. That one produced an eggplant, but I kind of caught it too late and I didn't get to eat it, which is so sad. More holy basil, it's freaking everywhere. This is regular basil. Regular basil, my bay tree. Love my bay tree. And then this bed has been so, I don't know what the problem is. I put grass in it. I'm just trying to amend it as best I can. I think there's an irrigation issue. I planted some parsley in there, and then there's some mugwort just growing wild in the back, but nothing else seems to grow. And I had a comfrey in there and another plant, but it didn't work out well. This is jasmine, and then a huge loofah vine that just totally took over. It was a volunteer. It must have sprouted from a seed I dropped. And then there's a climbing rose somewhere buried in that pile. And over here I have a few potted plants. There's a gomphrena flower. There's a lemongrass buried in there. I probably need to move that. My blood orange. My passion fruit cacti. And then a lime or lemon. Don't remember. Improved Meyer lemon. Yep. So that's the backyard. Thank you so much for watching my channel. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel, and subscribe. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.